Oh, we'll just go live now. There's like a countdown video I could do. Does anyone like the countdown videos that come with whatever? Maybe they don't have it. Maybe I deleted it. Hey everybody, welcome to the pre-show. It's not just going to be me. I assure you. I know no one wants to see that shit. But a pretty good show in store. Sorry for last week that we didn't do nothing last week. I had so much go on at like just the weirdest time. Here's some music that we could play for no reason. That's weird. There's a lot of music. I can turn it up too. This StreamYard, so many functionality that we don't use. Ooh. Some slow jazz for the night, huh?
Some slow jazz. I like that.
We're live. Welcome to the pre-show, everybody. This is the part of the show where we talk about what we're going to do on the show. I don't know what we're going to do on the show today. We have news. We have news. We have comic reviews.
And comic reviews.
Sorry about last week, man. Oh, you weren't going to be here anyway.
I wasn't
Monday.
Gonna be,
you'd have been
I wasn't.
here, but...
I was. Well, you canceled on Monday.
Yeah.
I was going to be here Monday, but
yeah. Oh, look at Jeff here early. He missed us so much last week. He had to be here this week. Thanks for coming by, dude.
Hi.
Always appreciate it. Hi, how you doing?
Hi, how you doing?
How you doing?
I'm so excited to meet you.
We're going to talk about some changes at Marvel, some changes at IDW, and then like 4 comic quick hits. A couple of them are wild and strange and so weird, but we are going to talk about them. And then we got some food news, double dose food news. And then, yes, a moment of destruction with Void Rivals number 3 and the preview of Transformers number 1 that came with Void Rivals number 3. And then, yes, a very weird top 3. Dude, I have no fucking clue what you read this week. I looked and I was like, man, there ain't nothing here that Dave even won. What did the man read? So I probably don't have any covers for anything that you read. But yeah, anything else? We'll talk about it in segment 1 probably. Yeah. Taylor should be here.
There is one thing. There is one thing I want to talk about in segment 1.
Oh, okay.
You already know. I already told you.
Did you? I drink a lot.
Well, I wanted to mention it.
Okay, you can mention anything in segment 1. That's what segment 1's for. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. It should be a fun show. You're pickled
with it. I'm tickled with it.
Oh, you're tickled with it. Tickled with it. Ha ha ha. Don't tickle me. Don't tickle me.
Stop it.
I'm going a little overboard today.
But yes, and no Andy tonight. Andy is not going to be here. He is just so damn busy with new stuff, all kinds of things going on.
Keeping them kids under control.
So yeah, whatever he wants to do. Oh man, I never put anything in order though for the show, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it should be a fun show, man. Oh, dude, we are definitely talking about that, Jeff. Jeff talking about Uncanny Avengers in the chat. Yeah, we're definitely going to mention that. And there's Taylor.
There he is.
So, yeah, it should be a fun show, man.
Well, I should mention right off the back that I am coming off of being sick, so.
Oh, there is shit going around. My whole family is running through the head cold.
Well, yeah, I work at a school, and children are disgusting things that are full of disease. So
children are bacteria incubators.
Yeah. I went and got tested today, so I don't have COVID, or at least at least I don't have it anymore. So.
Right.
Or you're asymptomatic.
No, he sounds symptomatic as hell. The dude sounds like he's got a cold.
Yeah, you know? I got a cough drop in, so we'll see how this goes.
Nice. All right, well, let's do it, but without further, just when I wanted more ado, without further ado, let's do it.
I'm surrounded by assholes.
He's my cousin, sir.
That'd be so much better if you had video on and you did the cross-eyed. A week off, I feel out of practice. Sorry about that. Greetings, geeks. Tis another episode of this Geek and Comics Outright Geekery's comic book shit talk show. Gomer Taylor.
I'm very grateful that Dave's here, so I don't have to do the shit talk show today.
Yeah, you don't have to ruin your voice any more than it is. But segment 1, I didn't watch it, but anyone. Taylor's been sick, so he.
Well, yeah, I haven't had a chance. I was looking forward to this too. I'm sad I wasn't able to go see it.
Nothing but good
really good things about it. I haven't seen it, but I'm hearing really good things.
Yeah, I have not seen it. I did nothing this week. I did absolutely nothing. I will save the Blue Beetle banner for another time.
I'm assuming I'll probably have seen it by the next show.
Yeah, by the time next time I'm on the weekend show, I probably have seen it.
I won't. Not I. What else? Anybody do anything cool worth mentioning? I know Dave's got something. But
yeah.
Taylor. Oh, Dave, go please. He's so excited. He cannot wait. He's listless.
As Gomer already knows, I picked up a collectible comic this week. Marvel Star Wars 42.
Now, if you don't know why that's important, Dave will tell you, I guess. I don't know.
It is the
first segue here, you buddy.
It is the first comic book appearance of Boba Fett along with all the other bounty hunters. It is the Marvel adaptation of Empire Strikes Back.
Yup.
So
cool get.
Yep, cool pickup.
Very cool get.
I shared it on Twitter, and some guy made in the comments was just like, there are a lot more important or interesting stories. And I'm like, dude, this
shut
is
up, dude. I'm collecting a first appearance. Why does everybody always want to piss on everybody's parade, man?
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Somebody's happy.
It is actually kind of a curious debate. Like, is it more valuable to have like the comic adaptation of a very popular character from the movie, or to have like a character that debuts in the comics, that debut issue? You know?
I mean, it's really personal taste. If you're a fan of Boba Fett and you want to collect, all
I don't think there's a single comic original character that's as big as Boba Fett. So that I'm genuinely curious. Like I'd be curious to know like the estimation most people would have for that.
Price wise.
Well, like a really good
price wise, but also just less quantifiably, like which one makes the fanboys in a tizzy better.
Right. Right.
Well, I know that it's not his first appearance ever. His first appearance was in an animated show for Star Wars.
Oh, it wasn't the movie? I didn't know that.
No, not for he was debuted before Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
But this is like after his appearance in that cartoon series or that cartoon episode. It wasn't like a series, I think. It was a couple.
It's like an animated special or something
like that. And then there was his appearance in the one additional appearance before the movie, then the movie, and then we have the adaptation of the movie for the comic book, which was in the run of the original Star Wars from Marvel.
Yeah. Hey, listen, collect what you freaking want. Like Jeff, he is not a big Blue Beetle guy. I am not either. And if I am, it's Ted Cord, and he's with Booster Gold. That's the only time I'm a Blue Beetle guy.
I mean, blue and gold is probably the most iconic interpretation of the character, but
I don't know why James Gunn isn't adapting that. It seems like James Gunn wrote that damn book.
I mean, he's making a Booster Gold. I'd be surprised if Blue Beetle wasn't in it. I don't know.
Especially I don't want any spoilers for Sorry. That is technically a spoiler for Blue Beetle. Sorry.
Blue Beetle. Well, this is a different Blue Beetle. This is
there are post-credit scenes that do allude to the 2 previous Blue Beetles. That's all.
Oh, okay.
That's all.
Well, I guess I'll look into that. But yeah, I don't really know too much about I mean, I know of the character. Like this modern one debuted a few years ago. I'm not a huge fan, but
I think it was 2011.
But based off of the trailer and oh gosh, I feel so much longer now.
Right.
But
still, I mean,
I'm still adjusting into my head in like the 2010s. Being like 10 years ago,
right?
But the trailer for this movie made it look really fun, regardless of regardless of being like a fan or not a fan of this particular character, it does look like it'll be a fun movie,
Yeah. Cool. Anything else, Taylor? Did you do anything worth mentioning? You just
No, I'm sick. What the fuck do you want from me?
No shit. All right, let's do news. All right, first is big changes over at Marvel Comics. Tom Brevoort, who has been in charge of the Avengers.
I thought it was always Brevoort, but maybe I'm always thinking. I don't know.
Brevoort. I don't know. What's up, G? Just stopping by. Thanks, man. Oh man, you should, dude. Thanks, man. Love that all my friends are stopping by. Just an FYI, Flash is premiering on HBO Max on Friday. Yes, I will definitely be able to talk Flash next week for sure, and I will. I will.
Just FYI,
Yes.
the Jamie Reyes version of the Blue Beetle debuted in 2006.
Oh, okay. I thought it was 2011.
Oh man, was it that long
It was a
ago?
long time ago, man.
I guess I could
As-
hardly say like the modern
Well,
take on the
no.
character then, since I was close to 20 years ago now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as Jamie Reyes, he debuted in Infinite Crisis #3 in February
Oh, that's
2006,
right. That's
and
right.
as the Blue Beetle, he debuted in April of 2006.
Cool. Thank you, fact checker.
You're welcome.
Breadford. All right, he's been in charge of the Avengers for like 25 freaking years, but he's getting a new gig starting next year. He will be in charge of the X-Men at Marvel Comics. Now, why is this a big deal? Because you have to understand the history of Marvel Comics in the context of the MCU. All right, when Marvel was starting the MCU, ramping that shit up with Iron Man and all that, the reason they were able to do that is because of this guy. All right. At that point, they had Spider Man leased out, the Fantastic Four were leased out, the X Men were leased out. All of their heavy hitters at the time were at other places, so they couldn't use them. So they needed to put a spotlight on the Avengers. This guy single handedly chose Brian Michael Bendis to write Avengers Disassembled, which led into everything: Civil War, Secret Invasion, Secret Wars, all things that the MCU has or will be using in upcoming movies and shit like that. So it seems like Marvel is trying to capture that lightning in a bottle again and
It
put Tom
seems
Brevoort in charge of the X-Men to guide them to their adaptation to the big screen. Yeah, and I think this is like a really, really good idea.
so. This is the guy that basically picked up all the toys and brought them back to Marvel.
No, he made the Avengers cool again.
Okay.
Yeah, at the time, dude, before Avengers Disassembled, the Avengers were not great. They were,
Well,
especially relatively speaking, to
so
every
this is
other
back in
thing
the
out
early
there.
2000s.
Yes.
Like, yeah, the comics landscape was pretty bleak towards the end of the 1990s. The
I mean, it was still
1990s,
rebuilding over bankruptcy.
people are starting to get some nostalgia for the 90s, but they were bad.
Mhm.
Like,
It was
pound
bad.
for pound, it
Oh,
was
yeah.
the weakest decade for comics probably ever.
Dude,
You know?
Heroes Reborn? Come on.
Yeah, that
Really? That was their big Avengers push, dude.
that was like every first issue had like 5 connecting covers.
Like, if you look at like those
Yeah.
old like issues of like, you know, Onslaught or like Avengers Reborn and things
Oh
like
my
that. Like,
gosh.
I had some soft spot for Onslaught. That was actually one of the first events I ever read. So
Yeah.
that's something I have great nostalgia for. But I have to admit that it's not particularly good. But they were trying out all these stupid looking new costumes for all the characters. They were just throwing shit at the wall. They were trying to be like too like cliche and poppy and everything like that. So he did recognize that there was a need for a pretty drastic change, and
Yes.
he is the logistics guy. He is the guy who hired the guy who did the thing
Well,
on
it's an
more than
editor.
one occasion.
Yeah, he's like an
Yeah.
editor, an editor in chief, or so to speak. So I mean, he is the runner,
Well, that is hugely important.
steering the ship.
Yes, you need someone who is managing the office well,
Right.
and he
right.
did that in order to get like the talent on board that was needed to reinvigorate comics.
Yes. Mark Millar on some of those books, especially Bendis. Bendis is, pretty much the figurehead, the designer for basically the entire MCU. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that. But it was kind of cheap. Who they put on their first Avengers team? Spider-Man and Wolverine, the two biggest heroes on the fucking planet in terms of those movies at the
I
time.
mean, that does seem like low-hanging fruit.
It does.
But
It does. But I don't know. So yeah, it seems like
whatever he was doing was working. You don't get to like run a title for like 10 fucking years without it hitting home for a lot of people. So it's not just a matter of getting their biggest characters all on the team. It is he was doing something right,
Yeah. I love his story. He actually started as an intern at Marvel Comics before he even turned 18. So yeah, good for him. Great for him. This does bring up some questions, right? Fall of X, is it only going to last until January 2024? How long are we going to still have the Krakoa era, even if we have it now, where it's in its winding down, and it's basically not. I mean, it was fantastic this week and last week, but um, what does that mean for X-Men comics, moving forward? Who's he going to bring in? Who is going to be his Brian Michael Bendis for the X-Men? Um, all of these things have yet to be answered, but I think they are really great questions. This also makes us like sort of re-examine the Krakoan era. Was it a success? I really think it was until the pandemic and then Hickman leaving. I think there were a lot of extenuating circumstances. The pandemic, sure, but also Hickman having this weird contract where he could just bail out whenever he wanted to, but he never really had the full creative control to keep the Krakoan era going to the full extent that he had it planned out. Three different, arcs, three different portions of his whole story, and then, like that. What the heck's going on with superhero movie? Man, I don't know, Jonathan. Superhero movies are crazy right now, dude. Another message from the chat. But I don't know what this means for the Krakoan age in its context. It seemed like the Krakoan age was a big deal. It seemed to me that with the Krakoan age and Hickman, right when it started off, I was like, man, this is a great lead-in for a movie to introduce them to the MCU. You could,
That's a terrible take because that would be such a bad way to introduce the characters.
I think that'd be so. I think everybody already knows these characters. You know what I mean? I think all you
They
have to
don't
do
know
is
Krakoa. They don't know
no.
like
You
most
establish that though. You
most of the
establish.
stuff. Well, if you're establishing it, you don't do it in the fucking intro movie then.
I mean, I see what you're saying.
Look,
I think we've already
when they
touched
introduce
on
the MCU, it's going to be
Yeah.
Xavier School. It's going to be Brotherhood of Mutants,
Ah,
and that's probably for the best. That's the most iconic.
you're
That's the most
right.
well-known version of the characters.
We've seen them though.
But
It's
anyway,
like-
you're talking about Krakoa
Yeah.
being a big deal. It
Yeah.
has been. This has been going
still
on
is.
for like 5 or 6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to lose track of that, but this has been going on for a minute. And yes, I can't think of any big status quo for the X-Men that has lasted this long
Yeah,
in
you're
a
right.
really long time.
And it's not even just a status quo. It's just like the full focus is on what has been going on. There's like
Yeah, it
no
was
side
like-
stories. You
it
know what
was
I mean?
a-
Well, Wolverine's kind of
We
a
had
side
like
story.
it was,
but-
but it was still like a unified presence,
Yeah,
Like Wolverine was off doing missions for Krakoa,
yeah.
X-Force was doing the same.
Even this week, when Wolverine shows up in the Ghost Rider book, he's still talking about everything that happened at the gala. It's still ingrained
Yeah.
in all of the X books. And yeah, I don't remember them ever, like you said, leaning this hard into a status quo.
I mean, at its peak, they were even doing like the fucking like Krakoan business comic book.
dude,
Yeah.
X-Corp, everybody hated that book.
Yeah,
Even
I didn't
I-
particularly. I didn't hate it, but it was
Yeah.
very. It was very just.
Even I cooled
Yeah.
on that book.
I would not want to work for M.
Oh yeah, that would be
Yeah,
terrible.
No shit.
It seemed like they were making a lot of unforced errors and like just.
Yeah.
But I guess that does speak to how they maybe got a little carried away. Like, not every idea needs the green light for like whatever it is you guys are doing
Right.
right now.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
the good books, the ones that like we've had some all time great X-Men runs
Dude.
within the context of Krakoa.
Yeah. Wolverine. X-Force.
Wolverine,
I mean,
this is maybe the best Wolverine run ever. X-Force
it's
has been damn
fantastic.
good. New Mutants had a fucking run
Oh
going
shit!
for a
Why
while.
do I always forget about? You know why I always forget about New Mutants? Because it had two shitty runs, like bookending the really cool one.
That middle
know?
part, though,
Oh.
when Vita Ayala was writing the book,
Yes.
that was some of their best stuff ever.
Yeah.
Everything Al Ewing's been doing with Sword and now with X-Men Red, that's been top shelf.
Yeah. Where the hell's Abigail Brand? Anyway.
Oh,
I
well,
guess.
we might get into that soon.
And last question on this topic, and we'll move on. What happens to Jordan White? Jordan White has been the head of X, outside of what Hickman did, kind of still doing the editing thing, while Hickman is just like was the big idea guy. But Jordan White is partially, if not mostly, responsible for making everything happen that has happened outside of the Hickman shit. Hickman couldn't have had his hand on everything. Jordan White is the one corralling everyone, keeping them all on the same quote unquote page. Where's he going to go? he's been doing a great job. Hopefully, he is able to get a gig at Marvel that he likes. Give him the Avengers. If they're really going to lean hard into the Ultimate Universe with this whole thing Hickman's doing, I see no reason why he couldn't run, all the Ultimate stuff. That if they are going to do that, but it sucks because Jordan White had a fantastic run in his role as the head of X, for lack of a better word, and it kind of sucks that I don't know, he's kind of getting lost in the shuffle a little bit here. It takes a little bit away from him, but I'm sure he'll land on his feet. Cool. All right, moving on. We'll have more on that as we learn more. IDW, geez, what are y'all doing? Okay. The word has come out through creators on Twitter or X and Blue Sky. I can't keep track of all the social media shit we got now, y'all. I can't keep track of it. I can't keep track of what's what. But IDW has canceled a bunch of creator-owned comics before they were even announced. All right. Artist Will Robson Zeeted. I can't believe that's even a word. Zeeted. Exceeded. I don't know. He said, my creator-owned book with IDW just got canceled midway through making it. I'm devastated after spending years on the pitch. I'm truly gutted. Not sure what he can do. He's surprised. And then Regine Sawyer went on there onto Blue Sky and said, who else got an email from IDW about their project being canceled? Man, what a shitty way to learn that you basically got fired. So what gives here, man? IDW loses like a slew of licenses. All right. They lose most of their Hasbro stuff. And then they shift to creator-owned stuff in order to get some new IP under their belt, presumably so they have something to adapt to the screen. And then they fire a bunch of people to save money. And then they shift again. Okay. So they take on all this new publishing material in hopes of finding this new hot original IP. And then they fire a bunch of people to save money. So then they find themselves basically underwater with way too much content and way too little staff to work on it all. What the hell is going on over at IDW, man? It's like such a kick in the balls. You can't live off TMNT and Star Trek. I'm sorry. You can't. I just don't know. I just don't know what I can even say. IDW has had Crashing was great. You can see the books up here. That Wildfires, Dead Seas was good. Earth Divers,
Earth Divers was good. Really good.
I just feel like it's really weird how they're running shit over at IDW. And now they're shitting on creators.
I mean, yeah, that does seem like such a crummy way for like they said they're working on it for several years now for it to all come crashing down with an email and
yeah.
I don't know the sales figures at IDW. I don't know like if they crunched the numbers and they thought, okay, well, we can't support all these projects anymore, but it just seems like a mismanagement of the business end of things for so many projects to come to a screeching halt all at the same time.
Especially when your business plan was to lean into these creator-owned projects because you lost two of the biggest fucking licenses in comics history. I just don't get it, dude. Come on, IDW. You've got to do better, IDW. You've got to do better by your fans. You've got to do better by the readers. You got to do better by the writers and the artists. And to just send out an email after, working with these people as long as you did is really shitty. I hope these creators find new homes for their work. I'm sure they will, especially these sorts of things. If IDW picks up a book, Dark Horse is right there. Image is right there. There's absolutely no reason.
Yeah, I do hope that all these guys can land on their feet. And if they get to take their stuff with them, that is
they do.
This is the worst way it could have ended.
Yes, they do. Even though the
contracts still sucks.
Yeah, even though the contracts were signed, and those contracts did say that IDW retains those first, adaptation rights or whatever the hell it is. They gave that back to the creators, which, I mean, is kind of a big thing to do, but sorry, you're going to get sued otherwise. You know what I mean? You're going to get sued by a bunch of creators, and that's even more bad press.
That is the right thing to do, but probably only because they calculated that it just wasn't worth, fighting it in court over this.
Yeah. I don't get it, man. IDW is honestly one of my favorite publishers of all time. They always have good stuff. They do well with their licenses, beloved properties, and just this year they are just not doing well. Ever since they took Transformers and GI Joe away from them, they haven't been the same, man. They just haven't. All right, so moving on, we got a bunch of comic book quick hits. We'll get through these pretty quick. The Sentry's coming back.
It
I'm
seems
sorry.
intriguing. Like I'm not.
Yeah, it seems like Shazam. It seems like Shazam to me. Go ahead. You want me to say what it is?
Well, I know that it's supposed to be like one of the little silhouette people here in the foreground is supposed to somehow inherit his powers.
They're
don't even
doing My
remember.
Hero Academia essentially with the Sentry.
Oh, it does sound
okay.
more like that than it does like Shazam. I gotta say, but
Sure.
one of these kids is going to be the Deku of the group, I guess.
Yeah.
But
that's
this could be
basically-
interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
the Sentry is a character where they've always had a hard time knowing exactly what they want to do. They introduced him as like this. He's Superman. He's basically just Superman.
I mean, I like
But-
the way they introduced him.
Well, they
with,
introduced
like,
him-
no one
they-
remembered him.
They
You know, I
gave him
thought
an
that was cool.
interesting hook. They gave it
Yeah.
where like he's a highly unbalanced Superman who, like, he has had his memory wiped away from the general population. And so, like, I remember that debut issue was like, who is this person who's
Breakout.
talking? And like, are they crazy? And like, oh, at the
Yeah.
end, oh, they do have superpowers.
Yeah.
And
that was like New Avengers #1, right? Breakout.
that wasn't the debut of the Sentry, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's right. No, you're right.
He debuted in his own book.
Yes,
but
that's true.
But that definitely introduced him to a lot more people. Is that scene?
Yeah,
Him ripping Carnage in half is one of the most iconic panels of all time.
yeah. It's been duplicated multiple times.
Yeah,
Remember when what's his name ripped Sentry in half?
Yeah, Null
Cole-
did the same
Null,
thing
yeah,
to him, and he
Null.
referenced him doing it to Carnage. Yeah,
Yeah.
But,
great. So great.
but
Donny
yeah.
Cates, get well soon, buddy. Man, I miss that book. I love that book so much.
But the Sentry is a book where they've done some really interesting things, where they can kind of have some really out there concepts, and it sounds like they're
Yeah.
trying to do something like that here.
Yeah.
And there's
So
also the whole
basically-
angle of like,
yeah.
He has like this evil alternate side of himself where like it's the Void, and every time he does something good, the Void does something bad. And it's
Yeah.
always just this balancing act. So there's some cool stuff they can play with here.
Yeah.
I'll
I hope
wait
they
and
lean
see,
into the
but,
Void.
yeah.
I like the Void. I really like the Void a lot. But basically what's going to happen, Bob is dead. Bob Reynolds is dead. But ordinary people all around the world suddenly manifest his powers. And they have like snippets of his memories. And we'll see what happens. Some of them aren't going to be very nice people, is what
So
I'm hearing.
presumably, like all of them have like a fifth of what he had or something.
Yeah. So I don't know.
And
There's
then
not a lot.
somebody has
out
to
on
go
this.
around, kill the others, and absorb their power.
This kind of reminds me of
Highlander.
Avengers
Highlander.
versus X-Men with the Phoenix at the end of that book.
Oh, that was cool. The
That was
Phoenix
cool.
5. I love
Yeah.
that Phoenix 5 shit. So Misty Knight and Jessica Jones are going to cross paths in search for the answers to all this shit that goes down. So they opened up an investigation that will change everything you think you know about the Sentry. It's written
Oh,
by
Lord.
Jason Liu. I know. Jason Liu, Luigi Zagaria is doing the art. That's a Ben Harvey cover. This is out on the 6th of December.
Change everything you think you knew about blank is one of my red flag phrases.
It really is. It really is, dude.
I'll check it out. I think this could be fun, but it could
Yeah.
also end up being hot garbage. It's
Yeah,
just-
I'm going to read
it
the
all
first
comes down to
issue.
the
At
execution.
least. It's only a 4-issue miniseries, which Marvel's doing a lot of lately, which is weird. Next bit, not a 4-issue miniseries. This is a 10-part epic. Wolverine has the ultimate showdown with Sabretooth.
Again?
Again?
It's been a minute. Sabretooth has
It
been.
has. He's been in jail.
He was he was in jail for a while, and like they had a little mini with him, and he got out somehow, I think.
He
Fucking Doug. I mean, just let him sit in the fucking thoughtless void. That's way better than what you ended up doing, you dipshit.
I know. That was a
Fucking
bad move.
Doug.
Doug has done a lot of weird stuff, dude.
Doug's an
He has.
idiot.
He is dumb. But it's going to be Ben Percy, of course, the dude who has been writing this since issue #1. But Victor Lavalle is going to be writing, helping him write. He was the one who did that Sabretooth book that you were just talking about. So this is shipping bi-monthly, which means they're going to be rushing some Wolverine out the door. It's going to start in Wolverine 41, but end in number 50, which gives it like 10 issues. It's going to be freaking huge, dude. So, you know what I think this is? if I can be perfectly honest, and this is not anything negative to say about Marvel or Ben Percy. Ben Percy, you can tell, is a fan of Wolverine. He just wants to write a fucking Sabretooth versus Wolverine story.
Fucking let him. I mean, all
And he
this.
deserves it. He's
Yeah.
owned that shit.
This is kind of like, you're writing Batman and you want to take your crack at the Joker, type of thing.
Yes.
But yeah, Ben Percy has been having one hell of a run on Wolverine, and I'm excited to see his take on Sabretooth here.
Yeah,
now, Sabretooth himself is not an interesting character.
He's
He's
not.
just
He's Wolverine.
He's just violence and hate and spite, and he has
Yeah,
like
he's
no
mean
personality
Wolverine.
beyond that.
Yeah, he's
But-
like really mean, stupid Wolverine.
But his interaction with Wolverine is very interesting. We already saw this alluded to a little bit, right? Like when Wolverine got kind of, he ended up tangling with like the psychic impression of Sabretooth down in the pit for a minute.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was cool. I loved that particular
No, I like
story.
that as well. Yeah.
So if we're getting more of that, but like better, I'm all for this. Yeah.
Yeah, I like what Ben Percy is doing with everything that he is writing at Marvel Comics, including Ghost Rider, which we might talk about later. I don't know. We'll at least mention it. But yes, good for him. I always read Wolverine no matter how good or bad it is. So it's really awesome that it's, really good right now. So, all right, we got a couple more quick hits. Batman Off-World. We all asked a while ago because Jason Aaron wrapped up his Avengers run. What's he doing after Avengers? Well, his exclusive contract with Marvel is up. He is over at DC writing a Batman book called Batman Off-World.
Man, you had me at Jason Aaron writing Batman.
Exactly.
Go ahead. Like Batman, I think works best when he's in Gotham. I'm usually a little hesitant to see him like off on Apocalypse or whatever the hell this is. Yeah. But Jason Aaron writing Batman, man, fucking whatever else you want to tell me, man. I'm here.
November 21st is hit shelves. He's doing art with Doug Monkey. Ooh. Jamie Meadows is doing the inking. It's a 6-part series. And the story has Batman traveling off Earth on a solo mission on an alien world. That's all we got. This will be Aaron's first
Batman go
work
to any link to
like,
stop the Joker.
Joker's pretending. He's like, hey, Batman thinks I went to the planet, whatever. So it's gonna be young Batman. He ends up confronting a foe he's never faced before, and then ends up going into space to find this guy. Ends up being an alien or some shit. So, but again, like you said, it doesn't matter. It's Jason Aaron writing Batman. Of course, I'm going to be this is the number one book of the month. The month it comes in. I'm hoping this leads to more work at DC for Jason Aaron. I want him to do more stuff.
I do think that Batman is one of his. Jonah Hex would be great. I was about to ask like who you think like would be a good fit for Jason Aaron in DC. Batman's up there. I think that Batman is like a gritty character that he can do a lot with. But I think you're right. Jonah Hex. That would be like ideal.
Yeah,
you know?
I also think he'd be able to write a Justice League Dark book, but I don't.
That would be fun. Yeah.
I don't think anybody's gonna let him do a Justice League Dark book. I think Justice League Dark.
I could see him
I
writing
would
just
like
the
to
Justice
see him
League.
do a Constantine book.
Oh, he could definitely do a Constantine book.
You could do Constantine. That'd be really good too.
Yeah.
That's a good call out, Dave.
Yeah.
But honestly, they don't even have to be like the grittier characters. Like he did a lot of good shit with the Punisher and Daredevil and like all these other characters and Wolverine, of course. But he also did fucking amazing with Thor. So honestly, maybe a Superman book would be really good for him.
Oh wow,
that would
dude.
be pretty awesome, actually.
That would be awesome.
That being said, I do like the current run on Superman, but
yeah, I mean, there's enough super people running around. Shit, just give him anybody.
Give him John's book.
Yeah, give him Cousin Gene or whatever. I don't know. There's so many Supermans running around.
Yeah, Superman's mighty cousin, Gene.
Gene L.
Fear not, Gene is on the scene.
Yeah. All right, now for the wackiest shit of the week. We're wrapping up the quick hits. DC announced The Dark Knight meets Father Christmas in Batman, Santa Claus, Silent Night, of course, with a K. Jeff Parker and Michelle Bandini will tell a tale of a grizzled Saint Nick investigating a brutal crime with the help of Batman.
Now, Santa will go to any length to find out who's been naughty or nice.
Yeah, right. Satana, you've been naughty. You've been naughty. So this is a four-part crossover event. Not so jolly Saint Nick hits Gotham City to investigate a crime. Why is Santa Claus doing crime fighting?
I have no idea.
What the hell? That just makes no sense.
You know what? Lean into this being dumb. You're having a book where like Santa is teaming up with like Robin and Superman and Zatanna and everything, I guess. But you know, that's if it's gonna be a dumb story, just let it be a dumb story. That's fine. You know.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this. I think it'll be fun.
Oh, I think it'll be fun too. I'm just talking.
It looks like they're kind of leaning into like Violent Night type of vibes here.
Well, they are. They're also leaning into Santa Claus from other things. Klaus. I don't know if you've ever read Klaus by Grant Morrison.
Or that one
Yeah.
that had David Harbour as the barbarian.
That's Violent Night. That's
yeah,
the one
that's
I was talking about.
Oh, yeah, that's Violent Night. Yeah,
that artwork kind of looks like it.
It does. It really
Dave,
does.
did you ever see Violent Night?
Yeah,
I have not seen that.
It's really good. It is like way really better than you would ever expect it to be.
Yeah, it's really damn good, dude. I did not expect it to be as fun as it was. I mean, it's literally a Christmas movie. It's Die Hard, but it's like literally
Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
It is,
so,
but
it's not. But this one actually is a Christmas movie.
Yeah. There's no.
It's legitimately a good Christmas movie. Like it was legitimately one of the best movies I saw last year.
Yeah, it was fantastic, dude. So. This is pretty cool.
That almost looks exactly like the Violent Night poster. Yeah,
it does. So Derek Chu is getting a cover. Otto Schmidt is going to do a cover. Tony Shea Steen is doing a cover, and Dan Mora. That's a 1 in 50 incentive variant. But Ben Oliver, this is the most fucked up part of the whole story. Ben Oliver is going to do a rub and smell variant, which is supposedly going to smell like chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Scratch and sniff. We're doing scratch and sniff comic book covers now, DC. That's what we're doing.
It's been a minute. They've done it before.
Scratch and sniff. All right, so yeah.
You know, that's as far as stupid gimmicks for like a cover thing goes, that's not the worst one I've ever heard.
Yeah. I think this is actually going to be a weekly thing because the first issue comes out December 5th. It would be weird for a Santa Claus book, the final issue of a Santa Claus book, to come out like in March,
January,
or March. Yeah, you know,
like they should rush this out before Christmas. They absolutely should.
I think they are.
I think after Thanksgiving, the first issue should be available.
Yeah, they should have the decorations for this up now.
They should have it out on Black Friday.
Shipping delays, and it comes out in like April.
Yeah, right. So yeah, we'll talk about all of those books and more on a future show. Let's do food.
Yummy.
Food news sucks this week. McDonald's is offering a special sauce this month in honor of Loki season 2.
Is it Szechuan?
No, it's not anything like that. There it is. Over 1 zillion variants served. So, yeah, I don't know if y'all have seen this commercial. I don't know if y'all even watch shit that have commercials, but there's like a McDonald's commercial where they just go back through a lot of movies. It's almost like a Super Bowl level awesome commercial. It's so good.
I've seen the one you're talking about.
Yeah, but they're kind of leaning into that with this new ad campaign, you know, getting Hollywood involved. But they're doing this, and there's going to be an episode of Loki that actually takes place, at least partially, in a McDonald's. I don't know if you can see who she's ordering from or who Loki is ordering from.
Oh, is that Sylvie?
It's Sylvie. So, I mean, that is just wild how... I mean,
Plus,
this whole
that's like a
series
McDonald's
is
from like the early 80s, late 70s.
It is. It's going to be an early 80s. Yeah. So they're also having an AR experience on Snapchat. When you scan the new sweet and sour sauce lid, they'll unlock exclusive content from Loki, which is just dumb as hell. I mean, it's so stupid.
I mean, this does sound like dystopian level corporate synergy, but
it does.
I guess on its own, it seems fine. It's like whatever, but like the fact that it's McDonald's and Disney like joining hands here to do it is just inherently like, ugh.
Yes,
you know,
it's exactly right. Ugh. Even though I have my McDonald's and Batman Forever,
the classic 80s.
Man, McDonald's has given away like there's like when UT won a national championship game back in like the 1990s, they gave away a bunch of like cups that you could pick up at McDonald's. I still have those cups. They're my favorite cups, in fact.
No, I still have my Bud Bowl 97 pint glass, dude. It's worth quite a bit of money, actually. It's worth
Weirdly
quite a
enough,
bit
of all
money.
people,
They don't do the Blood Bowl
Arby's
anymore.
gave out like these really nice looking like Christmas glasses that had like snow covered pine trees on them and everything like that.
Yeah.
They look nice. They're actually some of the nicer glasses that my parents have.
That's so weird. So yeah, go to McDonald's and do Loki, I guess.
Yeah, get that corporate synergy going.
Moving on with food news.
Be-
Andy, thanks for this one, Andy. Eggo Waffles has a brunch in a jar drink. It's Appalachian Pacific Cream. This is nasty. Their Kellogg's is teaming with Sugarland's distilling company.
Oh yeah, they
And
make all kinds of like crazy
weird
flavored
shit. It's like the Jelly Belly of
moonshine.
booze. Yeah, nasty.
So I'm assuming that's what
But
it is in the
this is-
glass there. Is
I'm
this like
hoping
like
that this would
horchata
have
or
like an
something? What is
eggnog
that?
taste to it.
I mean, the taste here is Eggo waffles, of course, sweet maple
Yeah.
syrup, butter, and a hint of smoky bacon. It's available at select retailers nationwide and online, only in select states.
And you
Some
probably have to
states-
be at least 21 to order.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Yeah.
Now those are all tastes that
Nasty,
I don't
stinky.
think are bad tastes, but I don't want to drink them.
Yeah, I don't want to drink them, and I definitely don't want to drink them like with alcohol involved.
This sounds like
Yeah.
this would be in an eventual eggnog flavor around Christmas time.
I mean, it feels like a Christmas kind of thing, but I don't know. I don't know why it feels like a Christmas kind of thing.
What does that
I
say?
guess 'cause
40
around
proof
Christmas
on
you-
there?
Yeah, it's 40 proof.
Hmm.
I guess because around Christmas is when you day drink the most, because this does not feel like something, oh, it's 8 o'clock. I'm going to get my drink on. Go grab me a Eggo waffle moonshine. Oh, Jeff, that would make me sick. Dude, I'm getting nauseous just looking at it.
Yeah.
I
mean-
it definitely gives you a new reason to Lego your ego.
No, I'm not an eggnog drinker. So maybe
Yeah.
if I was an eggnog guy, then maybe this would seem more appealing to
I mean,
me.
is
But
it eggnog, though? Just
I mean,
'cause
it's-
Eggo in there.
that's the closest I can think of to like kind of like the creamy alcohol, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Because
I don't know.
eggnog can come in an alcoholic version. So
Well, no, sure, but
It comes in non-alcoholic versions.
isn't
Yeah.
that what you buy at the store?
yeah,
I
it's
guess
like
it
a-
is,
around
but I've
Christmas
never.
time?
I've always thought of eggnog as an alcoholic beverage. I guess it doesn't have to be, but in my
Dude,
mind,
my
it is.
kid loves eggnog. He will pour that shit on Cinnamon Toast Crunch
Mm.
and eat it like cereal. And I'm like, dude, it's $8 for eggnog. Quit pouring it on your fucking cereal. But yeah, I will not try this. They're missing out on a huge crossover or, like we said, the synergy with Stranger Things. Come on.
Oh yeah, that seems like such an obvious
This
thing to
does seem
do.
like such an obvious thing to do with your sipping cream. I guess they don't want children in high school to be associated with alcohol.
40 proof. Yeah.
Yeah, 40 proof. All right, so there's your food news. Let's do a moment. Big things happening all over at the Energon universe. All things Transformers and G.I. Joe right here. Robert Kirkman, Matthias Lopez, Lorenzo De Felici. After last issue's big cliffhanger ending with a Skuxoid, our two adventurers meet a Quintesson.
Isn't it like the executioner or something?
What?
The Quintesson executioner.
Well, in regular continuity, yes, he was an executioner, but we're not exactly sure what's going on here because the Skuxoid has them on their ship. They free this guy, thinking like, okay, we got a buddy. So then the Quintesson promises to get our two protagonists out to help them if they can help him get to his ship, which we see that iconic Quintesson ship. I've never seen it land that way.
I don't think it's. I think it's being held like with.
Yeah, they got
fake
clamps
boots.
on it. Not a really good design, in my opinion. I don't know why you would ever want to land a ship like a corkscrew. But anyway, the Skuxoid says,
Oh
hey,
no! Did the Transformers movies come up with something that's impractical?
yeah. But this Skuxoid is a bounty hunter. He calls around. There's no bounties out for these two. I'm not sure why he caught them if there were no bounties out for him. I guess he's just catching people and then checking later.
Likes to stay on top of his game. He likes to get in the practice.
Yeah, so he actually lets them go in this little ship.
He makes a
And then-
trade.
Yeah, because he's like, the Quintesson will betray you. So they take the deal with the Skuxoid. He gives them a ship, and then the two are off again, right? They finally make it home, all right, at least close to their home. And they decide, hey, it's going to be better off for us not to just because they're at war. All right, they each belong to a faction, and these two factions have been warring for forever. They've been
Yes, you
sort of
might call them rivals of the void.
rivals of the void.
It's
Exactly.
not just a clever name.
It's not just a clever name. It's not even that clever, really. So they make it home. They agree to use escape pods, right, to abandon this ship, go in escape pods, go their separate ways, and then communicate to their respective homes, their people, their government, that hey, I met a nice one, and we can, maybe not be so mean to each other.
Oh, so they're not smart at all then.
They're not smart at all. Betrayal. One betrays the other. It's a solid issue. We continue to learn more about this new angle of the Transformers, because these folks have nothing to do with Transformers, because it's still all about the stuff that they're basically forcing into this book that have something to do with Transformers. Seeing a Quintesson was dope, sure. But if this wasn't set in the Energon universe, if I didn't know for sure that this was going to mean something to the books that I actually want to read, there's no fucking way I'd be reading this, dude. I'd have dropped this book at issue number 2. It's not good. It's just okay. It is just okay. There you go. Next
I have
little
no
bit.
comment. Yes.
I wouldn't either. Transformers number 1, Daniel Warren Johnson, Mike Spicer. All right, so we got a preview, 3-page preview. There's the cover. We get,
That's nice.
this here. We have them mention, the name Spike, here. Spike, where are we? And then we get this very familiar scene, very reminiscent of the first episode of the Transformers animated series from the 1980s.
Yeah.
Where we have Cybertronians on a wrecked ark stuck in a mountain. Really nothing to go on. It's all basically shit we've seen before, because Kirkman is, as far as I can tell, basing this entirely off of the G1 cartoon shit. Nothing against that. I just think it's all been done. I'm very anxious to see Daniel Warren Johnson write this book, but fucking A, he is drawing the shit out of this. That looks so damn good right there.
Yes.
So yeah, there you go. There's your moment of destruction. We will have more on those books and the Joe books as they come out. Anybody else read Void Rivals and want to talk about it?
I did read it. I was not impressed.
Let's do the top 3. I was not impressed either. I was like, ooh, a Quintesson. I know that guy. All right. It was a very weird week. I will give a shout out to Ghost Rider 17. It's just Ben Percy, right? And just two of the best characters, that are at Marvel right now. He's doing so damn good. I don't know what the hell Weapon Plus Hellfire program is. Was that mentioned previously, Taylor, at some point?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, me neither. But my number 1 this week is a book called The Cull.
We're going straight to number 1.
No. My third. My number 3.
You said number 1.
Oh, my bad. I was looking at number 1 because it's the first issue of this book. So, no, my bad. My number 3 this week. Kelly Thompson, Mattia de Lewis, The Cull number 1. It's basically a portal story. A bunch of kids get together. They're sneaking out of their houses, for lack of a better word.
I think they're going to try to find somebody, but this is in my honorable mentions.
Yes,
this is actually my only honorable mention.
Nice. There is a kid who is missing. Okay, and this one girl who has a bunch of other girlfriends, friends of hers. She gets them to go to where this portal is. They go through the portal. The entire first issue is just a big long lead-in. We're meeting everyone. We're understanding their trauma, the deals that they're going through in life, how terrible their lives are. Thompson just writes amazing dialogue here. All right, the artwork in this brilliant.
Awesome.
It pops
fantastic.
So hard. Yeah, it pops so hard. But really, there's not a lot on the bone here. There's not a lot to chew on. You just basically get from point A to point B. But I had a good time doing it. Hey, Andrew Barnes, Andrew in the chat. Thanks for hanging out, dude.
Hey, Andy.
We appreciate it so much. But yeah, The Cull number 1. Very surprised about how surprised I was. I liking that book. I was very surprised. I knew it was going to be something worth talking about, but I didn't realize the art was going to pop that hard. And it just gets you from one page to the next, and you give a damn, even though nothing is happening.
Yeah,
So it was very well done.
The most interesting thing is the like the second page of the book, because you don't have any explanation about what's going on.
It's like an alien invasion almost.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. But but then it goes and it flashes back like 12 hours, and we start meeting all these girls that go to this portal.
Yeah, who end up by the last page going through this portal and then are like, whoa. But yeah, beautiful art, great dialogue. I'm really hoping that it's going to pick up a little bit with the action and stuff, but we'll see how it goes. Taylor, honorable mentions and number 3.
I'll do an honorable mention for Dark X-Men #1. It was one of these new Fall of X books they're doing. It was an okay intro. I don't know these characters super well, or at least I don't know the characters I know best are Gambit, Havoc, and Archangel, but I don't
shit about Implate. Come on, Implate. Come on, who gives?
I don't even know who that is, to be perfectly honest.
He's the dude kneeling next to Havoc back.
He was a villain.
I recognize them now, but
okay, yeah.
Everything I know about them is based off of this issue, so
yeah.
But
yeah, not bad, not a bad book.
It was an okay debut. I was surprised to see those Children of the Atom characters come back.
That was a surprise.
That was an interesting pull.
It was. I didn't know it was them for a second, and then they went to that text messaging thing, and I recognized one of them. And I was like, "Oh yeah, they did that whole thing during Children of the Atom or whatever it was called."
That was a pretty solid book from before, but
it was all right. It was all right.
It was one I was not expecting to see come back in any sort of reference of any sort, you know. But hey, whatever. But my number 3 this week is going to be X-Men Red, number 14.
Excellent call. That book was nuts.
Yeah, so the Civil War on Arakko is starting up proper. We get a lot of cool moments with a lot of our heroes here. You know, Sunspot has cool moments. Richard Rider has cool moments. And Storm, especially, has some damn cool moments. Like
Storm almost way too OP now, man. No wonder she was the only fucking mutant who would have been able to take on the job of hanging out with this Iraqis. She's the only one who would have kept up.
There's others who are like arguably stronger than her. Like Magneto is. Magneto is stronger than her. Jean Grey is stronger than her. Yeah. But Aurora, though, is more of a boss than those guys are. And yeah, this is my personal favorite character in this book. I fucking love the Fisher King, and I have no fucking idea what's going on with him.
Yes, that's the big question. I have 2 takeaways from this. What the fuck is going on with Fisher King? And Iska has not taken a side. That's so telling to me.
Well, you know why she hasn't taken a side? Because Fisher King. Well, no, because Fisher King gave her the ultimate smackdown last time we saw these two characters.
Right.
But yeah, Fisher, we don't know what his powers are. We don't know what his deal is, and he has been built up amazingly. And it looks like we're kind of getting a peek under the hood finally. Yeah. He kind of it's reminiscent of that other guy from the Great Ring, the one who has like all the little tendrils, the historian. Yeah. I don't know if it's supposed to be that or not, but I am curious as hell to see what's going on with this guy. I love this character. I'm really looking forward to the next issue. That's the main reason it's number 3 is because it's like setting up. It has its cool moments, but I feel like it's setting up even more cool moments.
Yeah, I think so too. It was a fantastic issue. There were better Fall of X books this week. I think we're going to get to them.
Foreshadowing.
AKA David.
Yes.
Honorable mentions. You said The Call.
The Call is my only honorable mention this week.
Great book this week.
Only honorable mention. Whoa.
Yeah. Great book this week. Great book.
Fantastic art. There's a lot going on to chew through in this first issue, and I kind of want to see where it's going.
Yeah.
Good book, but not worthy of the top 3.
Sure. No, it was a big setup issue. Very big setup issue.
My number 3 pick this week is actually Orson Welles' Warrior of the Worlds.
Jesus, I did not grab this. No, I'm sorry. What? I didn't even know Orson Welles is dead.
Yes.
How's he writing comics?
This takes place shortly after his death in 1985.
Okay, right after he did his very last movie, his very last performance.
They actually reference that
in Transformers. Really? I've got to read it now.
Actually, there's like 2 panels where they actually reference like him doing the voiceover, and you know Orson Welles is notoriously hard to work with, and so there's a director trying to give him direction to if he would put more emphasis on it. He's like, how would I put more emphasis on a giant fucking robot the size of a planet?
Awesome. That's awesome.
But what it is the premise is that the War of the Worlds, the broadcast from the 1930s that Orson Welles took part in, actually happened in an alternate timeline, and that Orson
Okay.
Welles has like alien technology that he's used to kind of create a an avatar version of himself that exists inside this orb. That there's people that he trusts to get this orb and fulfill his final wish to tell the story of the real War of the Worlds.
I've read some
Oh.
comics with some pretty quirky premises. Like there was one where it was like Teddy Roosevelt, I think it was called Rough Riders, was like had like a mech suit or some shit.
That is a cool book. I
it is a
like
cool
Rough
book.
Riders. That is a cool book.
There's a book called Turf, which was like a gang war between vampires and aliens and bootleggers.
That's and bootleggers somehow.
They got tied into it, but
That's awesome.
But this is reminiscent of that. This is a contender for like, what the hell were they smoking when they came up with this type of thing?
But it was like one of the more like just like you keep reading it, like the orb takes one of these people back to like to the events of the War of the Worlds, and since she's from the future, she's making references, and she's like, "You look so young," and he's like, "Who is this crazy lady?" It's just, and then it's like you see the tripods walking and people getting vaporized, and there's another. I don't know if it's a Martian, doesn't fit the Martian descriptions from the War of the Worlds, but there's a Martian feeding on the memories of people.
Oh, that's a weird angle.
Or an alien, and Orson Welles fights this alien and takes in like. It's like mentally fighting this alien. It's just really crazy. But
dude, so Orson Welles is a fucking superhero now.
He's not a superhero.
He sounds like it. He's fighting alien memory eaters.
But but the book is when it is in the 1980s, or what would be considered the present day. The book is in black and white. The only thing in color is the orb. But when the people go into the orb, there's color.
That's interesting. That's a fun take on design. That's cool.
But
Oppenheimer did that a little bit too.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just this really crazy premise of the book, and it's just at the end of it, it was like Orson Welles is like they meet the avatar of Orson Welles, and he's like, "No, I didn't cheat, Jeff. I just transferred my consciousness into something that would help you." It's just like,
and I bet you're hearing his voice the whole time.
Yeah,
right? Rosebud, right? You're just crazy.
Actually,
are you doing like the Unicron voice for this?
No,
that's what I would do. I would hear Unicron the whole time.
Well, it was.
Then it pleases me to be the first.
Yeah, it pleases me to be the first. But no,
I like how all of our Orson Welles are
different, are completely different. They probably sound nothing like him.
But the death scene in the comic book is very much reminiscent of the death scene in Citizen Kane, where he drops the snow globe.
Nice.
It's just like got a lot of Orson Welles references in it.
That's cool. So it's sort of like not an homage, it's just like a celebration a little bit of him as a character. I mean, that Rough Riders did that too. You know, it wasn't belittling or demeaning at all. So
it's just you think you know the story. Well, think again.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, that's back to me. Sorry. Alpha Flight number 1. Ed Brisson, Scott Godlewski, Scotty God. Man, David, how long have we been fans of Scott Godlewski? What the hell was that Western, that space Western book he did that was so damn good?
Oh,
remember that book?
I do remember that book.
Yeah, it was an Image book.
It had the other artist in it, the artist that hit it really big too.
Yeah. Well, no, Scott Godlewski was the artist on it.
Was it?
Yeah. Anyway, it's Alpha Flight. It's Canada's superhero team. Mutants are banned apparently from the United States and Canada after the events of the Hellfire Gala. This is a really fun setup. I didn't like this book. There was no way this book was going to make my top 3 until the end, where it's all bullshit, right? We have the team working for the government, Alpha Flight. We also have this other team, and obviously, or apparently, Dakin is Fang now. I didn't realize that was a thing. But no, they are actually playing the Canadian government, still on the side of mutants. That shock ending. I didn't see it coming at all. Ed Brisson just played it off perfectly the whole damn book. And now, holy shit, I cannot wait to see where he takes that drama. You know what I mean? It was a whole lot of fun. And the reason it makes my top 3 is because I just wasn't expecting it. Ed Bryson is a writer for me that's either hit on the bullseye or miss off the dartboard completely. And I thought this was going to be a miss. I thought this was just going to be another boilerplate. Okay, Canadian Alpha Flight, Puck, lame. But then he hits us at the end. It's like, oh shit, okay, that's cool. Anti-government shit. Yes, it was so good. But
Copperhead.
yes, it was called Copperhead. Yeah. So yeah, Alpha Flight number 1 is my number 2 this week. Basically because I was so shocked at how surprised I was by Ed Bryson's surprise ending. I didn't see it coming. I just did not see it coming at all. So, anyone? No one else read Alpha Flight?
No, I didn't. I didn't think I'd like it, so I didn't pick it up.
Yeah, it had a really fun ending, dude. It was cool. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Jay Farber. That's who I was thinking. The writer on Copperhead was Jay Farber.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. All right, Taylor. Number 2 this week.
My number 2 is Daredevil, number 14.
Man. This was great.
Wraps up the Zdarsky Chichetto run. Yeah.
Yeah. There were really no images to take from this because it was just kind of, it felt like an epilogue.
It was. This was very, let's tie up the loose ends. Let's show where all of our characters ended up after this was all said and done. But I thought that they did a great job with that. I thought that it was a very poignant ending where, like, we kind of see, like, a Matt Murdock reincarnated as a priest, we get to see, like, what if Matt had gone down a different path? Like, he'd still be helping, but he wouldn't be so fucking miserable,
Yes.
But that's the real ending, though, is that, and I think that that's the main reason this made my number 2. It was a lot of, like, wrapping up loose ends and everything like that, but the way they ended it, where, like, he's walking out down the street and he hears something happening, and he cannot stay away.
Yeah, he just can't.
I think that kind of sums up why I thought this was such a great run on the character from beginning to end, is that Zdarsky understands at a very intrinsic level what this character is and what makes him tick. He is somebody who can never, ever make himself walk away.
Yeah. He's always going to do the right thing.
Yes. He's always going to.
That was the whole sum up of the Father run, which is my favorite, Daredevil run. He's just like his dad. His dad got in trouble because he could not do the wrong thing. He had to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And Matt follows.
Yeah, this is a guy who, like, his main superpower is that he cannot shut out the world around him.
Yes.
Right? Like, as a consequence of his super hearing, he always is hearing everything going around. He's very similar to Superman in that regard, right? That, like,
sure.
At the core of the character, he's someone who cannot ignore things that are happening. Whereas Superman might be more like, uplifting and inspiring and everything. Yeah. Matt's going to go beat the shit out of these guys.
Yeah.
And that's where we end up, and I thought it was very poignant.
Yeah, it was a very good wrap-up issue. It gives you everything you want to know about Elektra and her, what appears to be her new role as Daredevil. It gets what's his name in there, that ex-cop who's now working with Foggy. I thought that was really, nice to do.
Yeah,
Reed
Nelson
Richards,
and North.
Reed Richards shows up for some reason, but it worked.
It was from earlier in the run,
Yeah, but
they played chess together.
Oh yeah, but are they going to follow any of those loose ends now that they're all caught up? Is Elektra still going to continue to be a Daredevil?
Well, based off of the previews we've seen for the new series that's launching soon, it has Matt on the cover, so
yeah.
I don't know, but comics being comics, I don't think you can ever judge a run or judge even an issue based off of the context around it.
Yeah, for sure. I want to see more of Elektra. Elektra talking with the new Fisk in this, the new Kingpin. I was so intrigued and compelled by that, because it's like, no, yeah, you are trying to do shit, but you're still doing it the wrong way, and you're doing it for profit, and
you might be better than your dad, but you still suck.
Yeah, you're still a scumbag, and there's no way I'm better than Matt, but I'm going to show you, what Matt would have done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really whatever they decide to do with the next run, that's their business. But Zdarsky had a hell of a run on this character, and as a cat, so part of this being in the top 3 is just,
it's a capstone.
Yeah, tip of the cap to one of the best Daredevil runs in a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's arguably top 5, dude. I mean, but the problem there is there
There's a-
are so many
yeah,
damn good
pound for
Daredevil
pound,
books.
Daredevil has had more amazing runs than almost any other character.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, Dave. Number 2 this week,
My number 2 is probably the best Transformers book out right now, and that is
Astrobots.
Astrobots
That came
number
out. I didn't
4.
even read it this week. Damn.
The
Damn.
the worker rebellion is underway. Apollo is leading the masses. Atlas is going to try to destroy the human colony ship, and things are going nuts.
That's awesome. Simon
is-
Furman loves this book so much, dude.
It is the like I said, it is the best Transformers book currently out right
Well,
now.
there ain't no one currently out. Void Rivals don't count. Damn it.
But this book basically is a passion project. It is so good.
Yeah.
I am loving this book.
Yeah. It really is Simon Furman just wanting to do more Transformers and not being allowed to do any more Transformers. You know, I have read the first. This is issue 3, you said?
4.
Oh, see, I might be 2 issues behind on this damn book. I need to catch up. But
Because in issue 3 we discovered that Atlas has created his own race of human beings, and
yeah,
in order
think
for him
maybe I
to
read
implement this human colony, he needs to get rid of the human colonists that are coming to the planet,
right.
and that has sparked a pretty big rebellion because these robots were sent in advance to create this colony, and so that caused this pretty big schism. And now we're seeing who's Autobots and who are Decepticons.
That's awesome. Yeah, I need to catch up on that book. It's basically smart robots that don't transform. They actually do not transform.
No, but they do feel it does feel very much
yeah,
like
it does
Transformers.
feel like that. Right.
There's enough of that level of that political intrigue from the IDW books, and these are some pretty awesome mech designs. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Awesome, good call out. I do need to catch up on it. Leading us to our number ones. Number 1 for me this week, Uncanny Avengers. Number 1.
Same for me.
Yeah. Gary Duggan, Javier Garron. This was dope. Maybe my favorite Fall of X title so far, dude.
This was a really strong opening salvo here.
We just get a great team, great interactions, lots of confusion for another team, that isn't really sure what's going on. And finally,
they do a good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do an excellent job having us feel empathy for poor Blob here because he thinks he's doing the right thing.
He's a sucker. He's being used by this Captain Krakoa, and I love this antagonist in this because he has a secret identity. We as the audience don't even know who he is.
Yeah,
I love that. He fucks Captain America up, dude.
Yeah, he's strong enough to break his arm. Apparently, the suit made Cyclops like strong and fast, even though Cyclops is not. And so, whoever this guy is, he's some sort of superhuman of some sort.
Yeah, working for Orcus, pretending to be a mutant, leading.
Oh, and man, there's so many like black boxes here because like they completely misled whoever Captain Krakoa is about what it is like the actual status quo is, and like then they're also misleading Blob and like the Fenris people and all these other people. Like there's so many false flags, but it's
and
not but
the whole thing
like annoying,
dude. But the whole thing, because we have what's his name, the reporter,
Ben Ulrich, yeah,
we got Ulrich at the beginning saying that he knows for sure that the attack on Washington by Captain Krakoa was a false flag. It's really like Gary Duggan is leaning into all of these sort of real life conspiracy sort of shits.
The Alex Jones
the fascism
stuff.
Yeah, like January 6th style stuff. And he's leaning into that so well, dude. I mean, yeah, this book was perfect. Perfect comic book, dude. Cannot wait for more. And I love the team. I love it. Deadpool being on this team.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool dynamics. Perfect. Like, weirdly enough, like Deadpool and Quicksilver are like the ones who are like the true blue, like, yeah, we got your back, Cap. And then we have like
Psylocke.
We have Psylocke and I was trying to think. Penance, okay.
Yeah, M. Monet.
There's another character named Penance, so I always think her name's not Penance. That's Speedball.
That lasted for like 8 minutes, dude. Speedball being Penance.
Lasted for like that whole Thunderbolt run.
I know. I hate
whatever.
I hated that so much.
Anyway, so Penance and Psylocke are like, okay, he might be useful, but we're gonna drop him like, a bag of bricks if he ends up like being too goody two shoes for us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a great issue. I'm so excited. When it ended, I was like, "Holy shit, that's all we get!" Like, I wanted so much more of that
It
book.
packed a lot
So,
in though. Like
yeah,
it moves on at a good clip. I really like the team dynamic. And
yeah,
this should be really good. This is
yeah,
definitely my favorite team out of the Fall of X book so far.
yeah. So far, best. I mean, yeah, my favorite Fall of X title so far, dude. There's still a couple more coming. Jean Grey is coming, and then shit, I don't even know. I'm sure there's another one or two coming, but man, it was so good. All right, Dave, end it up, wrap it up.
Alrighty. The Madness #1
Oh, see,
from
this
AWA.
was last week.
I got it this week.
Okay, go ahead and talk about the Madness because it
'Cause-
was dope. It was.
So you're starting off by lying to us.
Yeah,
though,
he's
is the
starting
main
off
thing,
by
yeah.
lying.
No,
Yes,
I
Jeff chiming in about
I didn't get it
Uncanny.
till this week.
Exactly. He liked the discussion at the beginning between Cap and Psylocke. Yeah, dude, the dialogue was perfect. The action was tight. I mean, it's just a perfect comic. Just perfect. Great book. But yes, the Madness.
Yeah, because Luna does screwy stuff with like AWA,
Yeah.
and you don't get it.
This
for
is
like a week.
Whatever. Just talk about the book.
It's J. Michael Straczynski and
Aiko.
Mike Diodato, right?
No, Aiko.
Oh yeah,
ACO.
ACO. That's right. Yeah, great team there, dude.
Yeah.
It felt kind of like The Boys in a way.
Kind of, but I kind of feel like there's an Incredible Hulk element to it a little bit later.
Right.
But essentially, a supervillain steals a truckload of gold bullion from a foreign country, and the leaders of the country want
from
the
a
U.S.
dictator. From a dictator.
Yeah, they're like allied with the U.S. The leader, the crown prince, wants the U.S. to do something about this villain, and they're like, the only way we could probably take him out is a nuke, but she's on American soil, and we don't want to drop a nuke on American soil, so they enlist what is essentially the Justice League in this world to drop a nuke on this person.
Yeah. But it does feel a whole lot more like the group from The Boys. They are all just sinister.
They are just
selfish,
like, if we're going to do
egotistical
this,
douchebags, dude.
They're like, let's take a vote, see if this is going to happen. And they just, but she survives the nuke blast. Her family gets killed, and she kind of hulks out.
Yeah, she's ready for revenge.
Yeah, and that's where, I mean, it was start to finish just a great lead up to potentially the worst villain that these superheroes have created.
Exactly. My favorite part of the book, and it's been a minute since I've read it, but JMS sort of creating this political intrigue inside of it. Like, there's layers there. Like, there's this shitty dictator billionaire talking with his American friends in the government, who then go to this super team to figure out this plan.
Like,
to
the
not
government
even get the goal back.
Should we risk like 100 soldiers just to take this one person out? And then they've probably risked more than 100 soldiers by trying to take this person out.
Yeah, very well done. Aiko is awesome on art. Just good shout out, dude. Very well done. I mean, who doesn't love J. Michael Straczynski?
And I don't.
This will probably be his last book that isn't at Dark Horse, since he's making since he's doing the whatever there.
I don't think this is connected to like that the Resistance universe. I think this is
separate. No, I don't think so either.
I don't think this is a separate entity.
Yeah.
But it was good.
It was very well done.
I picked up Ribbon Queen, which I know came out like several weeks ago, but Shop finally got a copy of it, and it's pretty good too. But I knew that it didn't come out.
Yeah.
It came out a while back, but this thing was like, at the shop this week, and so I was
nice. That's a good shout out, even though you're a liar and it's a week late, but
I have no control over when the comic shop gets.
I know, who does anymore?
Blah blah blah. I'm a huge liar. That's all I'm hearing.
Unless you're reading digital, dude. That's the only way you can get your books on time. Guaranteed on time. But
you would
awesome.
That's a wrap. Think that competition would make Diamond better.
Yeah, right. No, let's not get into that lie. Okay, how competition makes things better.
Whatever happened to free market capitalism? What is this? What is this lie you've been
Dave,
telling
we're
us?
almost done. Don't start up Gomer.
He's gonna get me going. He's gonna get me going. Awesome. That's a wrap for us, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. We really appreciate it. If you like what we're doing, you'll love what the bullies are doing. Leroy and Eli over at the Comic Book Bullies podcast. Please check them out. You can find stuff for them at outrightgeekery.com. Links to everything they got going, everything we got going, merch, tips, socials, videos, all the good shit. I'm sure they're going to go all in on Blue Beetle tonight. So please check back to these channels and more and hang out with them. Come back tomorrow. We're going to be talking about all the previews coming out, all the books coming out this week. It is a healthy stack of comics coming out.
Oh yeah, I've already looked at it. Even though I'm not going to be on the episode tomorrow night, I've looked at it. There's some good stuff coming out.
Oh, there's some really, really good stuff. So yeah, please come back tomorrow. We would really appreciate it. Come back next week. We'll talk about all those books. Jeff, good show, fellas. Man, talk about lying. We were just talking about lying, but we do appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Jeff.
We do appreciate it. Yeah,
Yes,
we appreciate you too, Jeff. You're awesome, man. I'm so glad we got a fan. But yeah, again, anyway, thanks for hanging out, everybody. We really appreciate it. But most of all, thanks to these guys for hanging out with this guy.
Always fun.
My throat feels terrible.
I'm sorry. I hope you get.
It's not all about you, Taylor. You suffered through, though. You went through like a troop. We're gonna do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
You're lucky that I enjoy talking about comics.
I know. It's like I should have been in bed. I should have been in bed, damn it.
I mean, really, I'm glad I did it for Jeff.